Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got our first rebuild of FM24 and we're heading up to Sunderland. Now you might be thinking, why Sunderland? They did pretty good last year in the Championship. And I'm thinking, within a few seasons, within a 5-year rebuild, can we get Sunderland back to the dizzy heights of the Premier League? I thought, why not? I thought we'd jump in at season number 1 and get an idea of how they look in game. So as you can see on the screen right now, their season preview shows them at 14th in the league. Their season preview quite far down there. So really, we've got quite a bit of a challenge on our hand to try and get them back up to the Premier League in just one season. I'm going to touch on a few of their key players for this team. Bradley Dack is going to be one of those key guys in that cam position, playing out wide, possibly playing even as a CM or even possibly as a striker. He's a very versatile player. I do like the look of Dack, and he's going to be quite a key player for us in this first few seasons. Ross Stewart is another one. You can touch him as well, of course. A few Scotland caps now for him at this point as well. A very good striker, a very useful striker as well. 6'2", bit of a target forward type player. Maybe just pressing forward as well. He looks like a bit of a utility man up front for us, so he could be pretty useful going into season number 1. With some of the young players that look really good for Sunderland, we'll try and build this team around this young core and hopefully bring them through into the first team. Abdullah Bart being one of those players, of course. You can see on screen now, he looks very, very nice indeed. And of course, I should probably mention Joe Bellingham, of course. Me being a Birmingham City fan, former Birmingham City player. You know what his brother's doing right now at Real Madrid. Very good player. I'll be trying to see how we can develop Joe Bellingham in just these 5 years of this simulation. And for this one, we like to bring our own tactics, of course, into these rebuilds. This is a tactic we're going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks. It's the Murphem Elite 4-3-1-2 tactics. You can get an idea watching this video and seeing how good it works. And of course, then if I download it, come back for that video as well. So at this point, we're going to go 1 year into the future now and see how we got on in our first season now as Sunderland manager. Let's come back at the end of season number 1. So we come back at the end of season number 1 with Sunderland, and it didn't really go that much to plan, to be honest. I was hoping for at least a playoffs push in this first season, but we only came 11th in the league. As you can see on the screen now, Sunderland coming in 11th place, getting 46 games played, winning 17, drawing 14, and losing 15. I do feel I lost a few too many this season and far too many draws, drawing 14 games this season, one of the most in the league. But on the plus side, though, goals for. We didn't do too badly with the goals for. We did get 78 goals this season, which is a lot more than the teams above us. So hopefully, with the goals for going up and the team getting better in season number 2, hopefully we can have a better showing going into the new season. In terms of the other cup competitions, the FA Cup, we got knocked out by Leicester in the 3rd round, and then knocked out in the 2nd round of the Carabao Cup by Stoke. And going into the next season, of course, our overall balance is in the minus right now at -7 million. But we've been given 4 million to spend to build this team going into the season number 2 in the Sky Bet Championship. Let's dive forward now and see what happens in that summer transfer window ahead of season number 2. So we're back now at the start of season number 2, and there were some big transfers going out from the club, but we managed to get some good numbers and good players back into the side. So let's dive into that transfer history and see what has been happening. So, if you see straight away, we'll start the transfers out over this side. Joe Bellingham left us straight away. I know I wanted to build the team around Joe Bellingham, and then Man City came in at 9.5 million, and the board said, well, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, so we can't let him go. So Joe Bellingham left the club for 9.5 million, but he's actually back on loan already at the club. So we do have Joe Bellingham back for this season in the Championship, but I mean, he's developed quite nicely already. Man City came calling, we couldn't say no, and off he went, but at least he's here now for 1 more season, so we can see how he develops in this course of this season. The other big sale was Isaac Lahaj. He went out, of course, this season over to Bordeaux as well. He made the switch for 4.1 million. He came on a free transfer last season too, also. I mean, not too bad. 4.1 million out the door. He goes over to Bordeaux over in Ligue 2. And then since then as well, there's a few cheaper transfers here and a few loanies out from the club. But we did spend some of that money bringing in some new players. Of course, we brought Joe Bellingham in back on loan, of course. A few free transfers. Joe Hewitt coming in. John Jules. Callum O'Hare. Javi Manquillo. Could be the big one, though, for us, because, of course, he's a former Newcastle player. He left Newcastle. He's made the switch over the other side now, over to Sunderland now in the Championship. So he might be a bit of a hated figure up there in the north. The other ones that came in then, it was Rudut Mapanzu who came as well, then a free transfer, making the switch from Luton over to Sunderland. Great midfielder, 30 years of age, still pretty darn solid. Can definitely do a job here in the Sky Bet Championship. And then we spent a little bit of money on these last two. Flynn Downs came in from West Ham for 2.7 million. Had some depth midfielder, good starter for us as well this season. And then we went back to Luton yet again to get Elijah Adebayo, came in for 3.7 million as our new number 9 striker. Adebayo's a great great striker. He's done all right in the Premier League in real life this season so far. He's looked pretty decent, but now he's made the switch over to Sunderland. And two of the transfers are done just before the game ticked over into July 1st, of course. Ali McCann from Preston made the switch over for another midfield option, of course. We have a lot of midfielders in this tactic. And Scott McKenna, and a free transfer being released by Nottingham Forest, who took him here over at Sunderland. So this is how we're going to look now for season number 2. Adebayo comes in out front for Bellingham back on loan, of course. He plays that CM attack role. Bart get a chance in the first team this season. I do want to see his development develop a lot more this season, hopefully, though. Man City don't try and steal this one from us as well. So the team's looking solid. We're looking good. Let's see how we get on in season number 2. So season number 2 was a much better show for Sunderland this season. You can see now on the left-hand side here, we won the playoffs final. We managed to get Sunderland back into the Premier League, beating Sheffield United 2-1 in that playoffs final. As you can see now from the league table, at the end of the season, Southampton came top. They have 119 points. They only lost one game all season. It's absolutely disgusting. Blackburn in second, and the playoffs went down to Luton, Sunderland, Middlesbrough, and Sheffield United. We managed to go all the way and win promotion back to the Premier League. On a sour note, Birmingham City got relegated, bottom of the table, losing 31 times. I just don't want to think about it. But in terms of the FA Cup, we didn't do very well in the FA Cup this season, getting knocked out in the 5th round by Chelsea. I mean, that's quite far, actually, for Sunderland, realistically. And the Carabao Cup being knocked out in the 3rd round by Tottenham Hotspur. But later on that season, we did make a few more transfers into the club. Dane Scarlett came on loan over from Tottenham Hotspur for the season. Did a pretty good season, to be fair. Got quite a lot of goals, 11 goals in 34 appearances in the end for us. We also brought in Calvin Ramsey from Liverpool. Hanson Aaron came from Manchester United, and Aaron Ramsey made the switch from Aston Villa to Sunderland on loan for the season. But sadly, January did see the big leave of Anthony Patterson, leaving for Bournemouth for 8.5 million. Our number 1 keeper went out the door in January. It was not ideal, but thankfully we were able to call on Alex Bass, our backup goalkeeper, to step in for the season, and he did enough to get us promoted back into the Premier League. So in terms of finances for the new season, we have 38 million going into the Premier League season now. So let's see how we spend that 38 million going into season number 3. So following the completion of that season, we started spending the money straight away. We didn't hang around any time at all. Nathan Baxter came from Bolton for 1.1 million. We need a new keeper, and Nathan Baxter could be just that coming in. But we didn't stop there. Nathan Phillips came in for 1.1 million then from Bournemouth, of course, former Liverpool player. Made switch to Bournemouth, and then now made the switch over to Sunderland. But more sales did happen. We did lose another one of our key young players. Firstly, though, Ross Stewart made the switch over to Shakhtar Donetsk. He made the switch. The striker who did so good for us in that first 2 seasons has made the switch now to get some European football and is now a quite accomplished Scottish international. But sadly, Abdullah Bar did leave us. He left for European football, making the switch over to Olympiacos. We got a bit of money for him in the end. Don't get me wrong, 4.6 million is not too bad. At this level, we have to take it. It's a shame to lose him, but we've managed to improve this team massively with all this money we've bought in. Some of the other transfers as well. Tyreek Jules got a free transfer last season. 2 million made profit. We'll take that all day long. So let's touch up on these new transfers into the club. Starting off with Josh Sargent for 12.5 million. The Norwich striker made the switch up to Sunderland. He's on 88 grand a week. He's on a hell of a lot of money. So I'm hopeful he can bag a lot of goals this season. Jean Gonzalez made the switch from Lecce for 12 million over to Sunderland. He can play CDM, he can play centre midfield, he can play quite a lot of roles in his midfield role, and he looks very, very good for this side. Next up was Leif Davies. He made the switch from Ipswich over to Sunderland. A very accomplished left back. I thought he does offer a lot more ability on the left hand side. The crossing, the dribbling, the acceleration, the passing is exactly what I look for from that left back to get balls into the box to try and find our strikers. The next one was a bit of a coy, I thought. Cesar Casaday. Anyone who used him in the last few years of FM knows how good this guy develops. He can play CM, he can play CDM, he can play Cam, he can play quite a lot of roles in midfield. We bought him for a snap bargain price from Chelsea of 3.5 million. They only bought him 2 years prior for 13 million. We've come in straight away. 3.5 million, we will take that all day long. Lee Kundle came on a free transfer for going for Arda Güler from Real Madrid. Who would have thought Arda Güler at Sunderland? Who would have thought that? What a downfall for this guy. I do feel for him. On loan from Madrid for the season. He's going to be our main cam this season, and he looks insane. Looks so good already. And joining him then was Rico Lewis from Man City on loan for the season. Can play CDM, can play out wide. He can do quite a lot in the fullback positions as well. And Mika Biaf came from Arsenal on loan to be our main striker this season. So going into the new season, this is how we'll line up now with Biaf up front with Sargent, Arda Güler in behind. So a few changes in that forward line. Gonzalez in there, Davis in there, Rico Lewis in there. A lot of changes made into the Sunderland side. Our first season in the Premier League. Let's see now how we managed to handle it in season number 3 here in the Premier League. Right, so we're back. Season number 3, our first one in the Premier League. And you're not going to believe this. You can see the league table here. We came 8th in the Premier League in our first season back in the Premier League. We almost finished above Villa there in 7th as well, getting the Europa League spot. But we do manage to get 8th spot, which means we get Europa Conference League football going into next season. In terms of the competitions, we've got quarterfinals against Leeds United in the FA Cup before being knocked out. In the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out by Nottingham Forest. Let's touch on that league table a little bit more here. As you can see now, Sunderland came 8th in the league after 38 games, winning 20, drawing 5, losing 13 all season, scoring 64 goals, conceding 49, finishing on 65 points. 1 point behind both Newcastle and Aston Villa, narrowly missing out on Europa League football in our first season in the Premier League. That's not bad at all for Sunderland. That's not bad at all. Some players we probably should touch on quickly as well. Elijah Adebayo bagged 20 goals in 33 appearances in the Premier League, much better he has done a Luton in real life. And Josh Sargent got 19 goals, so he made up for that high wages on right now. Not a bad first season for the guy as well. Assist-wise, Arda Güler had a very good season on loan as well. 38 appearances, 6 goals, 12 assists. We will take that all day long, hopefully. Arda Güler might stay for another year. New big budget, of course, now. We're looking healthy. We're in European football next season. Let's go ahead now to the start of season number 4 and see how we may spend all of that money. We are back at the start of season number 4. You can see our first game is going to be in the Europa Conference League, qualifying third round path, blah, 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 blah. First leg against Tobyl. So yeah, I'm not sure who they are, but I'll tell you, our first game coming up very, very shortly. It's actually in 3 days' time. The transfer business needs to be done by now. I mean, finances-wise, we're in the red on wages because we've been absolutely very, very busy indeed. Let's go to the end of last season first and get an idea of what else happened at the end of that season before it ticked over, of course, to the end of the new season. Fabian Reeder came in for 14 million. This guy looks absolutely incredible. 24 years of age. Very versatile midfielder and play a few different roles for us, and I thought we had to grab him straight away before anyone else came and snapped him up. We did that, 85 grand a week. Not a bad option, really. Played young boys last season. Had a good season, 7.28 average. 5 assists, 2 goals. Not bad, so hopefully he can be really important to us this coming season. And we went and pitched Marcus Sensi as well. He was at Brighton formerly. Been there for a season. And we've came in and snatched him now to come play centre-back for us this season. And then July 1st ticked over and we really got into it. Starting off, Rico Lewis made the switch from Man City over to Sunderland for 7.5 million. An absolute steal for Rico Lewis, taking him in now at Sunderland. We bought in Oscar Gurk from Salzburg here for 16 million. He can play Cam, he can play CM, he can play a few different roles. Israeli international and looks really, really good. 22 years of age. Very nice player indeed. After him then, we got from 3 transfers in Jamie coming is our backup goalkeeper for the season. And then Reece Williams coming in as our new centre-back. Hopefully as a starter, but maybe as a bench player for this first season. There's a few outgoings as well, but no real big ones really. We sold Nikaris Tiraris there for Melbourne, the 225k, and a free loan move to Barnsley, and then Daniel Abolo went to Nottingham Forest on a free transfer. So not really much in the outgoings, but the team now is looking pretty darn stacked ahead of the new season. And of course, with losing Joe Bellingham going back now to Man City, there's a few changes made in this team. We couldn't get Arda Güler back as well, so a few changes have been made. Goal coming in that cam role now, of course. Junior Gonzalez switching to that right-hand side of the midfield with Reda coming in now on that left-hand side. Sensi in defence now. And Rico Lewis, of course, permanent deal, now starts in that right-back position. It's our first year in European football as well for season number 4. So let's see now how we got on in season number 4. So season number 4, it was weird because you look at the league table right down the left-hand side. You can't see us because we're quite far down. We're getting out at the moment. The FA Cup, we lost to Cambridge in the third round. In the third round of the Carabao Cup, we lost to Bradford City. But the Europa Conference League, we won the Conference League. I can't begin to explain how we did it. We somehow managed to win the Conference League, beating Athletic Bilbao 4-3 in that final. And I mean, it's a pretty good run to be fair. Round of 16, you can see here now, we got past Ludogorets here, beating them 5-1 aggregate. We go to the quarter-final stage then. We get past Boa Vista, beating them 5-2 aggregate. We go to the semi-final stage. And we got past Augsburg 3-0. And it came down to Athletic Bilbao versus us in the final. And you can see there, we somehow win the Conference League for Sunderland in season number 4 using this insane tactic. It's done really well to get us this far, but something did go wrong somewhere along the line. So you're going to see now, there's a lot of losses in the Premier League season because we finished 16th and have Europa League football next season. You might be wondering what on earth happened. And if I'm quite honest with you, I literally have no idea. Obviously, these are simulations using these tactics. If we managed to get to a Europa League Conference League final and win that, but in the league, it really went wrong for us this season. I'm not sure what really happened, honestly. You can see 38 games, we won 10, drew 6. We lost 22 games all season on 36 points. To be fair, we're 6 points away from getting relegated, and we somehow still won a European trophy. So, I don't know what counts as being good and what doesn't in this situation, but I mean, we've won a trophy. We won a European trophy for Sunderland. Massive, yeah? And then we look at relegated. So right down there again. In terms of finances, we have 70 million spent for the new season, of course. Winning that trophy means we have Europa League football after almost getting relegated in season number 4. Which takes us now to season number 5. Europa League football, still in the Premier League. Let's see how we get on in season number 5. Right, we're back. Start of season number 5. So, first things first, Nagelsmann now manages Spurs. So this is going to be an interesting season because I don't know how they managed to get such a good manager. But we'll see how things go, of course. We had a lot of money to spend at the last window, and we've really, really spent it. Rico Lewis, Dortmund really wanted him. We've told him to get lost, basically. It ain't happening. It's not happening. So, yeah, outgoings, ingoings, what's been happening? We bought in Warren Zaire-Emery on loan from PSG. He looks like a really good wonder kid this year. Let's face it, he looks very, very good indeed. And I thought we had to bring him in. And look at him already in game right now. 21 years of age. He looks incredible. He came on loan for the season. We had some different ones. Lewis Openda came on a transfer as well, 14 million. We bought him in. Looks a very good striker this year as well in FM as well. So for Openda has to come in and hopefully add to us in European football. Christopher Ajer came from Brentford for 9 million. Great old transfer. I'm really happy to get Ajer in. Solid centre back. Loved him for a couple of years now in FM, so he made the switch over to Sunderland. Brandon Williams, 20 million from Everton, of course, went from Man United to Everton in game and now joined Sunderland and gets some European football for him this season. We should probably touch on this as well. Josh Sargent went to Chelsea. I mean, I didn't think he'd be this good. We bought him. I was like, yeah, he could be a good striker for us. He made the switch for 27 million over the Chelsea. That gave us a lot of money for the new season. I mean, he's had a whole season at Chelsea. He looked very good, but he was there last season. We didn't touch on it last season. I completely forgot to touch on that one. So, yeah, Sargent left us last year in the end. He left us in literally on deadline day for 27 million. And that's probably why we almost got relegated, to be fair. We were missing our main striker last season. Something I probably should have mentioned last time out. But yeah, into this window, we spent £50 million starting with Matthias Arezzo for 28 million to come in to replace and be that number 1 striker for us this season. Arezzo looks really good still, to be honest. Not a lie, 24 years of age, looks like a solid striker, but hopeful he can be the guy to lead us to hopefully a better league title finish. League title? I'm not going to get a league title with Sunderland, of course not. But hopefully a better league finish this season and maybe even some accomplishments in Europe or domestic cups. We bought in Sebastian Haller for 4.5 million from Fulham. Good backup striker now, 33 years of age. Still looks really, really good in game. Danilo came from Fulham as well. What a player this is. Of course, Nottingham Forest in real life. Went to Fulham in game. Has now made the switch over to Sunderland. 26 years of age. He looks really, really good, to be honest. And then Jordan Henderson. Henderson's career is a lot different. He went from Al Ettifaq over to Brentford for a year and now plays at Sunderland at age 37. So he's very much past his best by this point, but Henderson comes back to Sunderland where it all started for him. In terms of the outgoing, you can see here now, Callum O'Hare went for 10 million to Norwich, Ali McCann went to Fulham for 11 million, Nathan Phillips left us for 4.4 million, and then Churchkin and Manquillo both left on free transfers for both Bristol City and Galatasaray. So of course, let's lead us to this season now. This is our main squad going forward at the moment. We've got Baxter in net, Lewis, Ajer, Sensi and Williams at the back with Danilo, Gonzalez and Reader in the midfield. Look ahead of them with Arezzo and Haller as our strike force going into the final season here at Sunderland. Of course, we do have a Europa League football to look forward to as well after winning the Europa Conference League last season. And I mean, technically, we could be in for something here. Europa League looks pretty decent. Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. One more trophy would be very, very nice to end season number 5. So let's just rebuild with the final season. Let's simulate and see what happens in season number 5. Right, so we're back. We came back a game early because, I mean, league table again. Let's touch on this first, shall we? It didn't go very well again. We almost got relegated again. I don't know what's going wrong this season. We can't do it in the Premier League. We can't do it in the Premier League. But you're going to see in a moment that we absolutely love European football. Sunderland coming in 17th place. We survived in the Premier League yet again narrowly. We won 7 games all season. It's so bad. It's so, so bad. Finishing on 32 points. We're safe for quite a while there. But it's not a great season until you see what happened next, because we're somehow in the Europa League final. I mean, I don't know what it is with Sunderland. They love European finals. We'll go through what happened here. So we got to the round of 16. We got past Bayer Leverkusen, knocking them out 4-0 on aggregate. Then moving to the quarter-final stage. Aston Villa, see you later. Straight past Aston Villa. Into the semi-final versus Hoffenheim. We got past them as well, which now leads us to a final, taking on Tottenham Hotspur. At the start of the season, I mentioned about Nagelsmann going to be their manager. And I could never have called they would have to face them at the end of the season. Our first game of the season was against Tottenham Hotspur, and it's now going to be our final game of the season. I mean, Spurs came 7th in the Premier League, so not a great season for them, but if they can win a European trophy, I think they'd be very, very happy. And we left it at that point because we're actually going to play at the final to end today's video. We're going to end this rebuild by playing this Europa League final of Tottenham Hotspur versus Sunderland. So the plan was to line up as it was here, but look, it's a bit of a knock. I'm just thinking, can we risk him? It says he's not going to be ready for 6 more days, but I suppose it's going to be the last episode. But at the same time, I'm thinking we're going to put a Pender in Shadow Striker. He can definitely play that role just about, not maybe I say just about, narrowly. I think everything's there to play. It doesn't say here he's like very confident at the role, but I mean, in terms of looking attribute-wise, he looks good enough to me. So this is going to be the plan. We're going to go in and play the Europa League final right now to end this rebuild. Backs are in goal with Lewis, Ballard, Sensi and Davis at the back, Danilo, Casadei and Reader in midfield, a pendant Shadow Striker, a Rezo, and then you might be wondering who on earth this guy is. This is Michael Mellon. This is Michael Mellon. We got him for 10 million from Burnley last season. He's been okay. He's got 4 goals this season. I'm thinking it's either him and Hilaire. But Hilaire, again, not fully been there. He hasn't really been playing. He hasn't been playing as much football as I'd like to this season. So I'm thinking right now, we're going to go with Mellon. Actually, no, we can't do it. We can't do it. Arezzo, off you come. Off you go, Arezzo. No. All that, we can go for Adebayo. Could we go for Adebayo? He's not played like properly this season. But again, still a very good striker indeed. You know what? We're going to go with Hilaire at the start. Adebayo can go on the bench. We'll go from there. This is how we're looking. Oh, Gonzalez still not fully fit as well. But again, we might need to use some of these unfit guys. It's our final game as Sunderland take on Tottenham Hotspur in the Europa League final. So then here we go. It's Europa League final time. It's Tottenham Hotspur versus Sunderland. Gnato's up front from Julian Brandt. Hector Bellerin made the switch, of course. Former Arsenal boy as well. Now at Spurs as well. That's insane to say that. And there comes our team. Penda, Rezo, Haller, Casadei, Danilo, Reader, Sensi, Ballard, Lewis, Davis, and somehow Baxter's still got a living in goal for this team. I don't understand how he's in this team still, honestly. But here we go. It's the Europa League final. Can we bring one more trophy home to the Stadium of Light for Sunderland? I mean, we've had a very good time getting to the Premier League. We've been a bit poor the last 2 seasons, don't get me wrong, but we've won 1 European trophy. Can we make it 2? And here we go. I'm going to take the headphones off, can't we now, realistically? You don't need me wearing them no more. We've already passed. The music's done. Maddison now on this right-hand side. Well, one by Leif Davis. Here's Davis again. Reader. Get it in, boys. Get it in. Davis. Reader. We an option on the edge. Bit far back. We'll take it. Here's Sensei. Davis across the box. Oh, so unlucky. Could have actually. Davis got the ball again. Look, Davis has scored his first goal of the season for Sunderland at one important time. Doing it in a Europa League final. Spurs absolutely muddied at the back here. What on earth are they doing here? Absolutely fell over each other. Davis gets the ball here. Plays it in. Loses it. Kuleveski just plays it straight into the path of Leif Davis again. Coble can't save it. It's 1-0 Sunderland in the Europa League final. So a big start for Sunderland here. We've got a free kick at the edge of the box here. Arezzo. Casadei. Sensi, someone. Oh, I thought I wasn't going there. Apenda finds Ballard. Back across the box. Arezzo. Oh, what a chance, man. Sunderland are absolutely dominating Spurs. So what I don't get is, though, because, like, we've seen the Premier League table the last 2 seasons. We've done absolutely rubbish in the Premier League. But when you watch the tactic and how they're playing right now in these sort of matches against a team like Spurs, where has this been in the Premier League? Where has this been? Right, a few minutes away from half-time, to be fair. It's been quite even, to be fair. Possession's quite even. We've had 4 shots, 4 on target. Spurs, they gave chances, but they're not scoring. So that's the main thing right now. Our defensive line's still holding up here, narrowly in this final. But 1-0 Sunderland at half-time. We will definitely take that. I'm pleased. We're doing well, boys. We're doing well. I mean, changes-wise right now, I don't think anything needed just tweaking. I mean, Danilo had a bit of a stinker on 6.4. Oh, there's an injury to our keeper. We have a grade out keeper on there. We don't know the keeper. Oh, my God. Where's our keeper gone? Well, we've done no changes, and the grade out keeper's going to remain on the bench. Baxter's got a bit of an arm injury, which means for keeper, kind of key to use his arms realistically. So this could be quite interesting in this final. We might have to put a grade out keeper in goal or just throw Haller in goal. Haller's quite tall. He can go in goal probably, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Van der Ven now finds Bentancur. There's not long to go here. Van der Ven brings it inside. Bentancur, edge of the box. Don't let him shoot. Oh, Baxter's fine. Look at him with his... Like, he can't even lift his left arm up, bless him. He can't even lift it up. Right, time for some changes. I'm going to bring gold Oscar Glock on, I think, here. Look like he's ready to come on. We'll give him a chance. And then we're going to get João Gonzalez again. Has a bit of a knock as well. We're going to bring him on as well. And I want to get Jair in this team as well somewhere. I'm thinking for Ballard. He's got a yellow card right now, so we'll do that one change there. Otherwise, apart from a keeper being injured and still playing, he just say he wants to stay on, though. But it is affecting him. So, I mean, having a one-armed keeper in the Europa League final probably isn't very ideal. We'll praise the boys, though. 20 minutes to go, and we do lead still against Spurs. Tell you what, the clock's ticking down here. 5 minutes to go. And we might do some more changes here. We're trying to hold up for this lead here. We've done pretty good so far. So far, no change. I mean, oh my God, everyone's knackered. Everyone's absolutely shattered. We've got 2 changes to go. Michael Mellon, here's your time to shine, mate. Mellon comes on up front. And then we can do one more change. I'm just thinking defensively. Sensi looks a bit tired at this point. I mean, We've got no defenders. We've got no defenders. We can't bring a defender on. Who are we meant to bring on here? Grayed out goalkeeper. Downs. I mean, there's Kundal. Here we go. We get the other striker on. 2 fresh strikers for the last few minutes. What more could you want? There's some lovely fresh strikers on. Free kick for Sunderland late on. Danilo. We've got options in the box here. If we can get this in and find someone, this would be absolutely perfect timing. Big ball in. Sensi heads it. Kyoble fumbles. Oh, it's a great chance for us. Yeah, it's going to be a corner for Sunderland. 1 minute on the clock. Can we win a Europa League with Sunderland? Leif Davis now looking for the short option here. It's called for it. It's been marked up very quickly here by Van der Ven. Taking his time. Ball into the box. Flicked on by Ajer. Cleared out. Edge of the box. Oh my God, Rico Lewis. We're going to win Sunderland Europa League after almost getting relegated. Rico Lewis from the edge of the box. The former Man City boy we bought for absolute pennies. Ajer flicked it on. Cleared by Scalvini. Oscar puts it back in. And Rico Lewis on the volley. First time. Bags it home. Sunderland 2. Tottenham Hotspur 0. It's job done. We need the headphones. There's music and everything for this, isn't there? There's music and everything. Here we go. Here we go. Sunderland win the Europa League. Using the Elite Murph tactic as well, of course. Make sure you try that out when it's out in a few weeks' time. Here we go. Whoa. There we go. Same 5 seasons. Not only did we win the Europa Conference League for Sunderland, we've also won the Europa League. 2 European trophies in 5 years for Sunderland. I mean, the last 2 Premier League seasons, probably forgettable, almost getting relegated twice, but 2 European trophies. What a way to end. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you're liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Hope you enjoyed this rebuild and check out the tactic quiz out very soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon.